WCLU news coverage of the 2020 general election is brought to you in part by HVAC Services.
Alexa, HVAC repair services, please.
Professional and friendly, great service and great products. If you want HVAC done right, go with HVAC Services.
Home of the same-day guarantee, with heating and cooling coverage on any brand at any time.
Welcome today to our program, Wendell. Of course, we're here to talk to you a little bit about your candidacy for Glasgow City Council. So first, how are you today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good, good. So remind us again that you're running for council. This will be, if you are elected, which term for you?
This will be the 11th and 12th year.
Good deal.
For me.
So several years on the council, of course, at this point. And first and foremost, let's kind of get a little introduction of you. Perhaps those watching may not know you, or if they do know you, this is just a refresher. So talk a little bit about yourself and your roots to Glasgow.
Well, I grew up in Glasgow. Both my parents are from here. My grandparents and great-grandparents are all up in the local cemetery, and my parents. It's the only town I remember. I was actually born over in Harlan County because my parents were teaching school over there at the time. Then they moved back here when I was 6 months old. That's why I talk a little bit different. Mom still had the Harlan County accent when I was learning to speak, and I can't shake it. So, but I grew up in Glasgow. You know, I love the town. I went to college, have a double major in accounting and business administration. I had a CPA certificate for a number of years and worked for a CPA firm. I've worked for several companies here in town. So the accounting and finance part of the city government really interests me, and it's one part that I feel like I understand. I've been on several other committees, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. So.
Sure. So talk a little bit about, of course, you reminded us just now that you have several years on the council, and you're looking to be on the council, to serve another couple of years. So talk about why do you like to be on the council, and what do you feel is your motive to run again?
Well, I had debated whether to run or not this time. This will be my last time, win or lose. I feel like it's enough. I'd like for everybody to have a chance to be on the council that wants to be. I believe in the diversity of the council. I'm worried about it going to 9 people. I'm afraid that will affect the diversity. But that's one of the reasons I ran again, was to be sure, or try to be sure, that there's some experienced people on the council that know different parts of the city government. Of course, Dad was mayor for a long time. We used to talk about different things. So it's funny now that I experienced some of the things he talked about and see what he meant and how he felt about it. But it's just a passion that you want the city to be the best it can be, and you want it to be here in good shape for my daughter and my grandson. I want them to be able to stay in Glasgow and enjoy Glasgow like I did growing up.
Sure. So let's talk about the last nearly couple years, or this term right here. Of course, we can kind of go back on several other terms if you like, but right now, focusing on this current term, what do you feel has been one of the biggest things that defines this current council, and how do you think you fit into it as far as promoting activity, or maybe moving forward with any of those ideas?
Well, to me, the one thing that's going to have the longest reaching effect on the city is the raising of the license fee and net profits by 1/4%. The pension plan is controlled by the state, and we know now that that's going to go up about $250,000 a year for the next 5 years. So that's $3,750,000 in 5 years total. The city can't afford that on our current financial structure. So we propose this raising of the taxes. I know it's not good to do it right before an election. It's not good to talk about doing it before an election. We've studied it for almost 2 years now, and it's something that it just has to be done. The people that are against it, I get kind of amused at it. they're the ones that always vote to spend money, but they're not trying to raise money for it. But it's the only way to put the city back on a sound financial basis, and even at that, we still won't be sound until the economy picks back up from the COVID-19 virus effects. So,
when you're moving forward with ideas, do you feel like you have voted in the past with the financial side in mind more than perhaps, a recreation side or what this might do? Or do you feel like you try to give a holistic view? What do you think?
well, I try to give the best view of what is best for the city. I volunteered to be on the strategic planning committee. I volunteered to be on the downtown parks committee, where we're looking at building a pavilion and an amphitheater. I want to be able to see what's going on and to influence it to be what I think is the best. I'm on the plaza committee, which is something that was one of my dad's favorite projects. So that's dear to me because of that, but it's the arts and entertainment side of it. It's not financial side. So I'm interested in all parts, and I think all parts are important to have a whole city that people want to live in.
So when we're moving ahead, if you are elected again and serving, let's say the Downtown Park Committee, for instance, I know there are a lot of variables there, and nothing is set in stone, but just because it's of high public interest, what do you think that committee might have to do to kind of navigate once things get back to somewhat normal? Because, there's been a wrench thrown in now, and it's kind of difficult to say what it might look like for sure, especially given now that, there's money issues, trying to make up lost money and things like that.
One of the things I'm worried about is the financing part of the amphitheater. We've tried to find some other cities that have amphitheaters and what their budgets are and what their results are, and they, for some reason, want to guard their information, which I now will compete with them in a way, so I can understand that. But I'm concerned that the revenue projections from that part are a little too rosy, but we're studying it, and the whole committee is looking at it and studying that part of it, because we don't want to commit the city to something that we can't afford, and so we're trying to be very cautious, very careful on that. But we do need that downtown park if we can afford it. It'd be nice to have something downtown for people to do, to go to during the day and in the early evenings.
What do you think the Glasgow Electric Plant Board's current state is, and do you think that current state is where it needs to be?
Well, I know there's a lot of discord on the EPB board. They have done what their Citizens Committee asked them to do. The way they rolled out the changes was unfortunate. Their response to the concerns was unfortunate. That was my criticism of them at that time. We've had several council meetings, even in closed session, where I've told the other members of the council that it's gone on long enough. The city council needs to quit arguing and trying to decide something to do on the city council level. We need to let it go, because it's disappointing. It's hurting Glasgow. It's hurting us in economic development. It's hurting us in recruiting industry. It's polarizing the population of the city. We need to try and just let the board members of the EPB solve it themselves. We can offer, like we did with the offer to help pay for a consultant if they wanted one. That board did not like that offer. They thought we were trying to interfere. I didn't feel like we were. We were trying to help them if they wanted one. We didn't say you had to get one. We don't have that authority to do that. But I think at this point in time, the council needs to just completely quit talking about it. Let the board work it out. If the citizens have a problem, they can still call the council members, but we can't do anything over it. It's something that is truly beyond our control, other than we do approve the board member appointments after the mayor nominates them.
Good deal. Well, we thank you for coming in today and participating in this. And of course, we wish you the best of luck this November. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brennan Crane, News Director for WCLU Radio. Thank you for watching this portion of our 2020 election coverage. Visit us at WCLUradio.com and online at Facebook and Twitter for the latest and breaking news updates.